Hello. I actually have a phone call to make. I have my parents to call in um, about 10 minutes. So I think I can say a few things to you. A few thoughts have occurred to me as I looked in on my Facebook account. Please feel free to become my Facebook friend and interact with me. I A lot of people who disagree with me are actually the source of my inspiration. So when they cannot or will not see a particular point, I guess I have to go round them um and think of new ways to make the point. And I actually owe a lot to my opposers who are pretending to be even more stupid than they are. So two separate lines of thought occur to me as I look through the responses on my YouTube and Facebook. And one of the things is what Christine Ramsey has said. So in my previous video about whether Jews are responsible for feminism, she seems to be saying that if I had a bunch of children, my views on widespread illegitimacy would be quite different to what they are now. This makes no sense at all to me, because she's a married woman. She's a Catholic woman, you see. So she's Catholic, she's married, she has children, and yet she opposes me when I stand up for marriage and family values, which you would have thought that all good Catholics would support. I guess she's not a good Catholic, but what she's doing makes no sense at all. So she's saying, if I had a bunch of children, I would have a different perspective to the one I have now. I'm not sure what kind of perspective she wants me to have, and I'm also not sure if she wants me to have legitimate or illegitimate children. Presumably, if I had legitimate children, I would be allowed to say what I do. I think that's what she's saying. She's saying she's of the view that I have no children, either legitimate or illegitimate, and therefore I have no right to say anything about anything at all. And she's obviously using her status as a married mother to undermine what I'm trying to say. But I'm thinking she probably thinks I should be. If I were a mother of illegitimate offspring, then I would shut up about shaming unmarried mothers. Now, why would she want to do a thing like that? I think it's because she basically wants to shut me up. She's saying I have no right to say what I say, and therefore I am to be ignored. But then, aren't Catholics supposed to believe in marriage and family values? So she's a kind of Catholic who doesn't believe in marriage and family values, and this means she's a bad Catholic. And also, so she's not following the principles of her religion, and her religion, um, her religious principles are, well, they should be operating basically, because the whole point of saying, I'm Jew, Muslim, whatever, is to say, I identify with this moral system, and therefore I follow it. So there's no point saying, well, I'm a Catholic, but I don't believe God exists, or something that actually opposes the very thing that you claim to believe in. So why are there so many women like her who actually don't make sense? So she's saying, on the one hand, she's Catholic, she's proud of it because she mentions it, and then she says she's going by the current orthodoxy, which is it's okay to have children without being married. So I guess she doesn't know her own mind, or she doesn't know that she's being a bad Catholic. She wants to be a good liberal, and therefore good liberals are sexually liberated um, from the rules of marriage and good parenting. So why is she being like that? So she obviously thinks being a good liberal is more important than being a good Catholic. But doesn't she oppose liberalism because she's always hanging around in alt-right circles? Presumably so, and I think she hangs around in alt-right circles because she hates Jews and Muslims. Uh, but then she wants to hate Jews and Muslims without. Why does she claim to be a Catholic then? Because Catholics hate Jews and Muslims, or are supposed to, or are known to do that? It's a puzzle, isn't it? Perhaps the thinking of Christine Ramsey doesn't, there's no point disentangling her thoughts because they make no sense at all. In that you can't be a Jew and a good Nazi. I mean, you can't say I'm a good Jew, but I'm also a good Nazi. For example, this is the best example I can give you. So, because one negates the other. Because we know Nazis hate Jews and want to kill and they wanted to kick and kill Jews out. Sorry, kick out Jews from Germany and kill them. That was what Nazis wanted to do. So if you're a Jew, you can't, without negating your own existence as a Jew, be a good Nazi. So, what is Christine Ramsey then? Christine Ramsey is a woman who identifies with the alt-right or associates with them, yet claims to be Catholic, but rejects the whole Catholic idea of fornication being a deadly sin. Because what is bastardy but the but conclusive evidence of having committed the mortal sin of fornication? But unfortunately, her crazy thinking isn't just confined to her. Lots of people think they can have the best of both worlds. Jews think they can be good Jews and good liberals. But there's nothing about liberalism that is Jewish, is it? It's a Gentile idea born of the French Revolution, who were basically anti-clerical, because the whole point of the French Revolution was that it executed the king, who was given divine authority by the Catholic Church, and executed Catholic priests. And then so basically the French Revolution denied the existence of God. They changed the calendar. They had a cult of reason. It didn't work out, and then they thought, well, I guess we do need a cult of the supreme being, but we don't want the cult of the supreme being to be the Abrahamic God that we have rejected through because we reject the Catholic Church. And they certainly weren't Jews, and I guess they didn't know much about Islam, or the French revolutionaries didn't get round to reading the Quran and thinking, this seems fair enough, we'll have our Islamic revolution instead of the which will be our French Revolution. I mean, they didn't say that. They said liberty, equality, and fraternity, and they exported those ideas to America, and America has well, obviously the idea has mutated in America and it's become globo homo. And globo homo is obviously opposed to marriage and family values, which all 5 world religions would regard as antithetical to all their religious values. And I suppose Christine Ramsey just wants to undermine me. It doesn't matter what I say, she will just oppose me for the sake of opposing me, because she doesn't think I have the right to say what I do, because she thinks, I'm not a mother of either legitimate or illegitimate children, but if I did have children, she's saying she's basically saying, if you had a bunch of illegitimate children, then you would shut up about other people having illegitimate children. But then why would she, a married woman, want to promote bastardy? I see this as this is such crazy behavior that I can only equate it to, you pay full price for your first class ticket on the train or the plane, but you're inviting fare dodgers and stowaways to share your cabin or carriage. Now, why would you do a thing like that? And surely your fellow passengers would want you to stop and say, no, don't invite these stowaways and fare dodgers to come join us in our first class carriage or cabin. Why the hell would you do something like that and destroy the whole point of paying for a first class ticket? So that is what Christine Ramsey and those who think like her are doing. And anyone who supports her should have their heads examined.